re-experiencing those painful emotions. And now the kid at age 5, 6, 7, 8 is not so innocent anymore. You see there's the presence of a personality. There's a personality. The personality develops as a protector so that we don't have to re-experience all the vulnerability of those feelings. So today, you don't let everybody know how you're feeling. You don't know who to trust or not trust, or you need to know who to trust or not trust in order to share your feelings. But as a culture, we tend to hide our feelings. People don't talk about their feelings. They talk about their sex life. They talk about their money. Might even talk about death and dying. They don't want to talk about their feelings, especially men. We learn it's not okay to talk about our feelings. So we shield ourselves. Anger is a shield. Anger is a secondary emotion. One man I knew had a dream of a thick layer of concrete that separated him from his emotions. It was perfect. Perfect image. That's what happens. It happens to many men. So we have the original impulse, right, produced by the emotional brain. It's an impulse. It's a burst of energy. It's like a heartbeat. But we've learned it's not safe to express that because it hurts too much for some reason or another. And so we shield it. And our anger is a release of that emotional energy. The emotion is pressure. So the anger discharges directly that emotion. Now, emotional intelligence teaches us that some people don't even know when they're having a primary emotion. They don't even know the vulnerability is there. They get angry because they get jealous. They don't know that the jealousy is a fear of abandonment, fear of being alone. And alone is so scary that they can't even get there. So they feel jealous and angry. Some people don't even know they're having the emotion. Other people know they're having an emotion, an primary emotion, but they may not know what it is. They kind of know they're not quite right, and then they get angry. Other people know what they're feeling, but they can't express it for some reason or another. They're unwilling or unable to express it. Now, some people who are more emotionally developed, more conscious emotionally, more skilled emotionally, know what they're feeling and have the ability to communicate it so they can feel understood. I'm just giving you the one definition of one of the 4 dimensions of emotional intelligence. So I want to teach this. This is an experiment. There's a lovely young woman who's getting her doctoral dissertation measuring the effects of teaching this program in this continuation high school. I believe this should be taught as basic curriculum in our schools. We shouldn't wait for kids to get 3 cavities before we send them to the dentist. We shouldn't wait for kids to have emotional problems before we teach them about their emotions, which includes self-control. That's where the Taming Your Anger program comes in. So I love going to this school and teaching these kids, and they're warming up to me, telling me their stories. And I just thought I'd share it with you. If you have a school system that you think might be interested, they should contact me. Go through the radio, TFOK radio, with Mr. J. And now mostly this is be in Los Angeles, although we have the opportunity and the possibility, maybe, of doing it in Chicago. Not sure. So that's the beginning of my day today. I like it a lot. It's one of the favorite things I do during the week. And then we get to talk on the radio. I want to thank you for sending your emails in here and your comments. Again, I welcome you to call during the show. Do we have any people on the line right now, Mr. J? Hello, Mr. J?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Are you with me?
Yeah, can you hear me, Doc?
Oh, I do now.
Okay.
Do we have anybody on the line?
We do have Chris on the line.
All right. Let's go for it. I'll pause my... I was going to talk about a couple of things today. But let's see if I can talk about what it was in the context of Chris's contribution.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yes. What can we talk about tonight? What's the question? On
Okay, question. I have a young man. He's a friend of mine. He's 19. And he's wrestling with the great questions that all teenagers have. One of them is, family wants him to go to college or VOTEC or something. And he's very content working a job, making his own way, because he doesn't know what he wants to be. He's like, why am I going to go to school when I don't know what I want to be? What's wrong with me working for a while, figuring out what I want to do? Why are these people so determined to tell me what to do? They try to tell me what I think and what I feel, and they're clueless. What do you tell these kids?
Yeah. Well, the young man is in a challenging position because his parents, who are giving him that advice, or those folks that are giving him that advice, are doing it from a point of view of wanting to help him and protect him from what they know, from what they believe is the best path to take to achieve the goal as they see it. Mm-hmm. He is following a different path. Mm-hmm. He wants to be true to himself. Did he graduate high school?
Yes.
How did he do in high school?
His grades were okay. It wasn't because he really paid attention.
Uh-huh.
So
here's the thing. He, at some point, what I would say to him, because he's a young man, in our culture, teenagers at the age of 19 are often not seen as young men. In other cultures, they've been working for years, they're responsible, they have families. Mm-hmm. He now is in a choice point. He has to decide to follow his own path and risk going with his instinct about where life is taking him, or not, and go with the well-intentioned advice of other people.
Well, we were talking about it, and I was kind of, you got to listen to this, and he was like, okay, explain to me why people are so caught up in, I gotta go to work every day and earn X amount of dollars so I can acquire X amount of stuff. And it kind of reminds me of George Carlin's piece on stuff. We are so programmed to continually acquire more stuff. And he's like, I look at these people and they're not happy.
Yeah, he's a young man. He's figuring stuff out. Why do people acquire stuff? I mean, there are a lot of obvious answers why people acquire stuff. One is survival, right? Mm-hmm. The next is probably comfort and convenience. Then you have people that think stuff represents status. Some people like toys because it gives them a sense of meaning and purpose. Other people, I know people that buy stuff, they can spend $5,000 on a bicycle, and they really love biking, and they really get off on the incredible mechanics and technology of the bike. So there's a lot of reason. Now, he might think that he might be looking at it purely from a materialistic point of view, that it's just materialism. It might be. I think for him, he needs to ask himself how he wants to unfold his life, what has value for him, and realize that at his age there are consequences.
Right.
I'd want to help him think about the path that he's on and what he's looking for. Because to me, if you're going to pursue whatever it is, you should do it with excellence. Doesn't matter what he's doing. I would encourage him to do whatever it is in the best possible way he can. And the reason is that he may never do that again. Okay. And he should learn everything he can about doing it so that he takes it with him. I think about putting it into your backpack of life.
Okay.
And you never know when the phone is going to ring.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get that. So for him, he should pay attention. I think it's really important. I agree with Joseph Campbell, famous Jungian therapist who wrote the Hero of Many Faces, Hero of the Thousand Masks, I believe. And he talked about following your bliss.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that a lot. I agree that the thread of life, the unfolding of destiny, the development of one's greater opportunities inside oneself is greatly enhanced by following the things that give you pleasure, that feel right to you. There's another saying I like, another Sufi saying. They say, in a sandstorm, trust in Allah, but tie your own camel. So, yeah, you want to trust in your feeling. I want to work. He's got a feeling now. I want to work right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have that experience. That's a solid thing.
Yeah.
Hello.
And, hello.
I didn't know I was on the line. I apologize for cutting you off.
No.
Dr. Wolf, please continue. My name is Lomax, and I do have a question, but I'll wait for you to finish the answer to your first one.
Okay, good enough, Lomax. So for this young man, I'd encourage him to follow his passion and yet tie his own camel. He needs to understand what's going on, see the benefit of doing what he's doing. I'd also encourage him to pursue something outside of work. He might already be doing that. It could be snowboarding.
He's got a couple of interests, yeah.
Yeah. So to pursue his interests and to develop that part of him that knows how to invest in his own creative curiosity while he's working, I think is an essential part of what it means to continue to grow up and follow the unfolding of your life. I think you really got to keep that part of you alive, the part of you that has that creative inclination.
Okay.
So there you go. Let's switch gears and speak to Mr. Lomax. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
The reason I'm calling is because there is I'm actually native of Chicago. As you know, the crime rate in Chicago is just way over. I mean, it's worse in the country. And a lot of it, I think, stems from people just being so angry for so long. Is there certain reasons that you feel the Chicagoland area is having such an explosive experience with crime that makes them from just people being angry? And what are some of the solutions you would like to see happen in Chicago that maybe your program can bring some solutions there?
You know, Lomax, I wish I was wise enough to answer that question for you. I have my ideas just the way you do and everybody else about why is it crime. Could it be because it became... I heard that Mexico's top drug dealer got busted last week and that he had selected Chicago as the entry point for his drug world. Who knows? This guy was a ruthless murderer, kingpin. Who knows the impact that had on the culture in Chicago, both the drugs and the illegal money and all that stuff. I can't answer that for you, but where I would go is, how are you going to address the insanity of the violence? This is the question I ask myself. And so I presented these kids, you must have heard, with a vision statement for their poster contest. I'm going to have a poster contest in the classroom with the best poster. I'm going to bring everybody breakfast. About 25 kids. And Because some of these kids don't get food